The overarching thing was like, we have to be the good people. On COVID, on the people with the lawn signs. It's in this house we believe there are no illegals on stolen land, and all love is love. And things I don't disagree with, of course. Well, I disagree with the stolen land thing. That's silly. Either shut up or give it back. But just in general, they have this idea that they are only really fully alive if they are taking the cause of some marginalized group. Homeless, same thing, like somehow that got completely inverted. We defend your right to live on the sidewalk, where it used to be the compassionate thing was to get you off the sidewalk.
The moment the camera started rolling, things got tense fast as Bill Maher sat across from Sam Harris and jumped straight into identity politics, calling out Democrats for still using it, even as its flaws keep growing. And you could see Sam Harris getting uneasy as Maher pressed harder, and every second of this intense exchange is right here. So stay with it because things heat up quickly.
And then suddenly you discover a tension between women's rights, trans rights, gay rights, and it's if everyone wasn't in such a rush to burn it all down, we might actually be able to have a conversation about it.
You want my analysis of what the overarching place this comes from?
Yeah, sure.
You don't seem that excited.
I can't listen. It's 5:30. I came here for this purpose.
You don't seem that excited about it.
I am on pins and needles.
Okay. I think it mostly comes from there's a faction of the left that their whole identity is really about being social justice warriors.
Sam Harris clearly knew this was not going to be easy because Bill Maher went right at the ideas he has been defending, pointing out that a strong group on the left has built its whole identity around being social justice warriors, where politics is no longer about solving real problems, but about showing a moral superiority, correcting language, and always finding new reasons to be offended, turning it into performance instead of unity, which ends up dividing people and weakening their own side.
Who wins the next election? And outdated racial pandering is one reason Democrats lose elections. When Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi put on kente cloth, I don't think it earned them one vote for their powerful emotional ties to Ghana. Here in California, we're now segregating kidnapping. Really? California doesn't just have Amber Alerts for missing children. We have Ebony Alerts for Black children and Feather Alerts for Native American kids. What is that? We look for them by listening on the ground?
Maher then explains that Democrats are losing voters because of this deep focus on identity politics, where almost every topic now turns into a political fight from culture to daily life, and people are getting tired of being told to see everything through race, gender, or identity, and instead of feeling represented, they feel lectured, which has pushed some voters away from the left toward the right. And he believes this frustration helped fuel the rise of Donald Trump and changed American politics.
During COVID, David Leonhardt in the New York Times, who really great reporter, and he did this story about the percentage of Republicans versus Democrats what their assessment was how many people with COVID were hospitalized. The Democrats were off like by 50%. Right. There was like half the population. And I forget what the line that he wrote was, but it was something like on the left, like COVID safety is very core to their identity. And I'm just not talking about just COVID, but like it's very core to their identity that we're the good people. We're the people who don't want anybody to die from COVID. Well, nobody really did. There were honest disagreements, but nobody really wanted people to die.
The conversation then shifts to how the woke left often sees itself as morally above everyone else, acting like its views cannot be questioned, and anyone who disagrees gets labeled ignorant or on the wrong side of history. And this leads to people trying to prove superiority, where winning matters more than truth-causing facts to bend numbers to stretch, and complex issues to turn into simple slogans, as seen during COVID, when open debate was often replaced by pressure to accept one viewpoint, and questioning it could get you shut down.
If you like identity politics, this kind of thing is antiquated. From 2010 to 2020, the number of people identifying as multiracial in America went up 276%. 1 in 5 newlyweds now are in an interracial marriage, and that number goes up to 100% in ads for Subaru. You couldn't do a remake of Guess Who's Coming to Dinner today because almost 100% of Americans approve of interracial marriage, especially with rich in-laws.
Maher's main point is that woke identity politics that once energized voters is now losing its impact. Because while it once highlighted real injustices and united people, the situation has changed with noticeable progress made. So voters now care more about everyday issues like economy, safety, and opportunity, and the same messaging feels repetitive or disconnected. And he warns that if Democrats keep relying on it, they risk losing moderate voters, especially with the 2028 election approaching.
The overarching thing was like, we have to be the good people. On COVID, on the people with the lawn signs. It's in this house we believe there are no illegals on stolen land, and all love is and things I don't disagree with, of course. Well, I disagree with the stolen land thing. That's silly. Either shut up or give it back. But just in general, they have this idea that they are only really fully alive if they are taking the cause of some marginalized group. So they keep finding, obesity was one for a while. Again, that's completely Orwellian. Like, healthy at any weight, how dare anyone tell you that is bad for you to be obese now that we have Ozempic.
He also points out how the woke left often jumps from one cause to another, turning each into a moral mission that must be accepted. And he uses the body positivity movement as an example where activists claimed any weight could be healthy, and concerns about health were called discrimination, while critics were labeled insensitive. But when drugs like Ozempic became popular, many of those same voices supported quick weight loss, exposing a clear contradiction.
Same thing, like somehow that got completely inverted. We defend your right to live on the sidewalk, where it used to be the compassionate thing was to get you off the sidewalk, right? All these, areas were disabled. It was like, how dare you say that and it's just different. It's not a handicap. You have to rethink what you think about disabled. It's just a different way of doing it. We're not worse because we can't hear. Yeah, if I couldn't hear, I'd think I was worse. I would like to get my hearing back.
His argument about homelessness highlights what many see in places like California, where the crisis is visible everywhere, and critics say, instead of focusing on real solutions like treatment and support, some policies focus on making street life easier with tents and shelters, which may normalize the issue instead of solving it. And Maher adds that this mindset can extend to other groups, where in trying to be supportive, some activists may send the message that people like the disabled should accept limits instead of being encouraged to overcome them.
Who says, as humans, we are obsessed with race, and that obsession can really hinder people's aspirations. Actress Raven-Symoné agrees. She told Oprah, "I'm tired of being labeled. I'm not an African American. I'm an American." She says, "I don't know what country in Africa I'm from. My roots are in..."
At the same time, many people are tired of being labeled and placed into categories and hearing they are still trapped in the same oppression as centuries ago, when their own lives show progress because opportunities have expanded, laws have changed, and barriers have been challenged. And while not everything is fixed, ignoring this progress makes messaging feel disconnected. And Maher says, recognizing progress does not erase the past, but denying it risks pushing voters away who feel their achievements are dismissed.
Things that just marginalize people. And I think this is what you have with the trans. We found the civil rights issue of our generation, and we can go into battle. To them, progress is a threat.
Yeah, you never admit that it's been accomplished. That's the thing. I think you could see that most clearly on race, right? It's like we made so much progress, and then we got to a point where we had to be told from the far left that no, this is just a sham form of progress. Actually, things have never been worse on some level. Two-term black president meant nothing. That's basically tokenism. and we just have a 5-alarm fire right now in the year 2019.
Critics also argue that for the woke left, nothing is ever enough, as once one demand is met, another appears, making progress seem impossible. And even after Barack Obama served 2 terms, some still say the system has not changed, while debates now shift to whether America is ready for a female president, though others argue it depends on the right candidate. And at the same time, some say racism on the right grew partly as a reaction to years of rhetoric blaming all white Americans for incidents involving minorities, which deepened division instead of encouraging honest dialogue.
To me, obviously, there still is racism, and there always will be, just like there will always be criminals. It's just not something that, unfortunately, you can extirpate from the hearts of people, and you can't legislate that away.
I mean, I think there's more racism now than there was. I mean, I think there's certainly a backlash to black and brown identity politics, right? So we have white identity politics now on the right, which is not good. And whether you think about that as just unmasking the racism that was already there or producing new racists, I don't know how you figure that out, but it does seem like a less hopeful moment around race in America than it did.
Yes, they went to a place, as we've discussed, many people have discussed, oppressed, oppressor. Everything had to be one or the other. So the whole Middle East thing got subsumed to that.
Finally, the debate over race connects to opportunity, as some activists push for roles to be filled based on identity to correct past injustice, while others insist merit should come first, and this clash keeps widening the divide. And with that, the discussion wraps up. So if you enjoyed this, make sure to like and subscribe for more, because there is always more coming and you do not want to miss it.